Tekken 8 has quickly established itself as one of the most appreciated fighting games ever, with its feature-rich content helping to ensure that everyone who plays it enjoys it. Amongst the glorious inclusions in the game, we have a huge base roster and a massive story mode known as the Dark Awakens. This means that not only has Tekken lore been greatly expanded, but the number of characters that fit into this lore has been increased too. When it comes to the new arrivals on the scene, no fighter has been grabbing more attention than Reina, a young athlete who at face value has a friendly demeanour, but beneath the surface is as arrogant and sadistic as they come. Some might even say, devilish. So with all of this said, join me today as we discuss why this Tekken character is so terrifying, and unravel the mysteries behind her origins. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Big Daddy Top Hat here. This is the story of Reina, the newest member of Heihachi's horrifying Mishima bloodline. Yeah. The Mishimas, the most Jerry Springer, Jeremy Kyle-esque family in all of fighting game history. No families in the genre's existence have been at each other's throats, fighting each other to the extent that these lot have. Thus far in the series, we have explored 4 generations of these dangerous lunatics, spanning from Heihachi's father Jinpachi to the star of Tekken 3, Jin Kazama. There is no question that Kazuya and company make up the most dysfunctional family in all of gaming, with it recently already becoming abundantly clear that Reina is just as unhinged as the rest of them. We will cover her place in the Tekken story shortly, but first let's quickly cover her development. In the PlayStation blog, Tekken 8 director Kohei Akita outlines that Reina was actually a character conceived a decade ago when the Tekken team were developing the story for Tekken 7. She was designed by Mariko Shimazaki, a woman who was responsible for contributing to the designs of Kazumi and Josie in Tekken 7 too. Akita would claim that despite Reina's fashionable and charming appearance, she exudes a charismatic sense of evil, reflecting her character's duality in both personality and fighting style. In terms of her fighting techniques, part of her moveset was designed to emulate a type of karate, known as Taido. To make such moves look as realistic as possible, Tatsuji Nakano, a 4-time Taido world champion, would provide direction. His advice on brutal techniques helped bring out the distinctive features and personality in Reina's movements even more. Tekken 8's director notes that Reina is a character that emphasises duality in various aspects. She mixes the distinction of Taido with Tekken's previously established powerful Mishima-style karate. Taido was chosen as it is known for its graceful and speedy movements, with sharp and agile attacks, perfect for a fighter of Reina's stature. Akita would go on to add that in combat, Reina employs a combination of swift and brutal maneuvers such as knife hand strikes, eye pokes, and scratching that reflect her character. She utilises a special movement called Sentai to close the distance quickly and launches rushes, while Unsoku allows her to deliver powerful attacks with agile footwork, demonstrating a speedy and aggressive combat approach. In addition, Reina has somehow acquired techniques like Wind God Fist and Spinning Demon, synonymous with the Mishima-style karate, and even exhibits a power fighter aspect, delivering powerful moves from the Heaven's Wrath stance, once used by Heihachi, who is now deceased. Her offensive capabilities, near walls in particular, are among the most potent of all characters. Akita concludes that due to the combined help from Nakano with Reina's moveset and Shimazaki with the character design itself, together this ensured that Reina had a grand direction that was clear from the beginning. After a trailer was first shown of this character, Tekken's official website would describe her as a mysterious fighter who uses lightning-quick moves to overwhelm anyone who dares face her. Other than the fact she's a student of the Mishima Polytechnic School, everything else about her is shrouded in mystery. Such a teaser would of course result in speculation online, with it being just a matter of time before we got to learn the truth about the character once we got to play the Tekken 8 game itself. Speaking of Tekken 8, this game is bloody marvellous, isn't it? One of the greatest fighters around, with so many different characters to try out, including Reina. In my opinion, the game was justifiably good enough for me to pay full retail price on release. But now, fortunately, if you are yet to try this one, you don't need to do the same. I can get you a massive 31% discount on this amazing game, and loads of insane deals on hundreds of other titles. Simply click my affiliate link in the pinned comment and you can grab the game for cheap right now. You will not regret buying this one. Thanks everyone. As already mentioned in this video earlier, the brilliant Tekken 8 is feature rich, meaning various modes in this game allow us to learn more about Reina and her story. Through these, we are introduced to Reina due to her choosing to compete in the 8th King of the Iron Fist Tournament's Asia preliminaries. Walking around in the corridors of the arena, behind the scenes she passes Jin Kazama, the crazy grandson of Heihachi and the son of Kazuya, thus meaning that just like his father, Jin also carries the devil gene. As Jin approaches Reina in the hallway, she is almost sickly polite. She congratulates him on advancing to the semi-finals, respectfully bows to him as she introduces herself and says she is always happy to meet Mishima Polytech grads. She excitedly informs him she goes there herself and whimsically tells him that she has heard all sorts of rumours about him. Jin, however, rather rudely doesn't even flinch, or make eye contact for that matter, and instead ignorantly passes. Reina's facial expression turns from joy to disappointment as she realises that a man she claims to look up to is blanking her. Still just about managing to maintain a positive demeanour, Reina calls to Jin that if she wins her next match, the two will be fighting, with her having no plans to lose. She tells him that he'd better keep his dance card open for her. As the story progresses, it is revealed that Reina, the unknown rookie, does manage to successfully claim a spot in the top 4, meaning that her match with Jin was now guaranteed to take place. Finally, going one-on-one with the rude man she encountered earlier, Reina warns Jin not to let her face fool him, as when she gets in the ring, she can be really rough. Jin, stoic as ever, ignores her claim, even as her more neutral expression evolves into a smirk. The two face off in an intense encounter, but the mood changes somewhat after Reina successfully nails a powerful electric move, reminiscent of those used by Jin's deceased, terrifying grandfather Heihachi. Jin, down on the mat, is confused by how she knows such techniques, and as he looks at her holding her fist, he has a flashback of his evil, cruel grandfather. Reina, noticing his expression, asks him what the deal is, accusing him that he looks like he has just seen a ghost. Her inner monologue, though, however, reveals she knows more, with her saying she is going to give him a taste of a technique that caused his awakening. The two begin to fiercely go back and forth against each other, until Reina manages to successfully launch one of her electrically charged attacks, punching Jin square in the face. Having the direct result she desires, this ignites Jin's devil gene, causing him to power up, unload on Reina and bring her to her knees. Reina, out of breath and gathering her thoughts, comes to the realisation that she thinks the key to the devil's power is the threat of death. Gaining all the information she wanted to garner from the fight, she feigns injury and forfeits the match, leading to her exit from the tournament. Catching up with Jin in the arena corridor later, Reina refers to Jin as a true stud when he gets serious. This time Jin does acknowledge her, so Reina reveals she has a favour to ask him. She wants to help him take down the big bad Kazuya Mishima, his father. Jin inquires if this has anything to do with a technique she can use, however Reina just smirks and says they were just something she copied from the internet. Later, Reina accompanies Jin to the Yggdrasil base and is present during a meeting in which Nicholas Clayson divulges more information about the nature of the mysterious devil gene. He states that devils are exceptional members of humanity, bequeathed with a fraction of Azazel's power. Azazel appeared before ancient man, creating devils to act as its servants. The devils are able to access superhuman powers by using a certain emotion. That emotion was desire. The desire to rule, to steal, and destroy. The rest of the room surmise that even though Jin can access the transformation, he doesn't desire any of those things, so therefore he has no hope in defeating his father. But they conclude perhaps having warm desires could be enough to stop him. Reina is subject to all of this additional information, and she watches on, learning eagerly. Deeper into the story, Reina joins up with the Yggdrasil forces and the United Nations forces as they storm the Colosseum, where the next part of the Iron Fist tournament is being held. Here she manages to confront Kazuya in his true devil form. Kazuya cuts off her exit from the situation, giving her nowhere to run. She maniacally laughs and informs him this way works best for her. The two fight, with Reina even managing to gain somewhat of an upper hand, somewhat surprising Kazuya and leading him to ask her if she is wielding the Mishima style. Ultimately, he blows it off and says it doesn't work on him anyway, before unleashing a larger chunk of his power upon her. Kazuya is impressed she is still standing after all of the onslaught. Eventually, Kazuya gets bored and says he is getting tired of this, before forebodingly telling Reina that she will regret standing before him. He then proceeds to beat Reina down and completely overpowers her. But before Reina is destroyed by one of his beams, she is saved by her group. As things progress further, Reina returns to the Yggdrasil's base and accompanied them to Yakushima to fight Kazuya Mishima's G Corporation forces. Here she does battle against the legendary Nina Williams, who is able to identify that Reina is connected to the Mishimas. Upon doing so, Reina asks Nina to come work for her instead, with Nina joking she is not opposed to it, but wants to finish her vacation first. As the huge battle continues, Devil Kazuya descends and fires indiscriminate lasers to clear out fighting forces. However, as this is happening, Reina boldly decides to purposely stand in the path of a huge laser and willingly take the blow, in the hope that it will bring her close to death and activate her Devil Gene. Later on, we see her awaken, now with terrifying, glowing red eyes. We see her one more time in the story completely arisen, and now assuming a horrifying devil form of her own. This leaves us on a lovely cliffhanger, perfectly setting us up for some Tekken 8 story DLC, or even the Tekken 9 story in a few years' time. When it comes to fighting games, few do lore better than Tekken. While we have to wait for the continuation of that story, fortunately we would get to learn a whole lot more about Reina in her character episode. An episode, I might add, is locked off until you complete the game's main story mode, meaning the game doesn't intend you to consume this media until you have the context behind the rest of Reina's character. Smart programming! Her character prologue outright tells us that Reina is the secret daughter of Heihachi Mishima and attended Mishima Polytechnical School. She loved and respected her father, whom she also saw as a role model. But Heihachi vanished after his defeat by Kazuya Mishima. But now headless Mishima Zaibatsu put on a new King of the Iron Fist tournament in order to choose a new head of the organisation. Reina entered the tournament to take over the Mishima Zaibatsu and carry on her father's legacy. After defeating a range of different opponents, the episode ends with a fight against, you guessed it, Devil Kazuya. When a player controlling Reina manages to defeat him, a rather ornate and somewhat ridiculous ending takes place. You know, akin to the sort of awesomeness we used to get at the end of Tekken 2 playthroughs. Here we see Reina sitting regally in a throne inside a dojo, as a humble Jin and Victor stand on either side of her submissively rubbing her hands. In the same scene, Kuma the bear stands tall guarding her on one side, and lines of Yggdrasil surround the rest of the dojo. Lee and Lars then drag Kazuya, who is now confined in chains, into her dojo, so she decides to temporarily halt her massage so that Kazuya can kneel before her. Reina humiliates him, referring to him as a pathetic sight, enraging the carrier of the Devil Gene, causing him to break the chains in anger. He smashes Lars and Lee together before attacking Reina. However, he is swiftly stopped by Kuma before Reina beats him more down with an axe kick. As Kazuya looks up from the ground, Reina continues to humiliate Kazuya, stomping on his back as those surrounding her stand to attention. She says to him, "Know your place, dog," before kicking him out of the way to admire the moon outside. Here she comments that she will be the one to build the world anew, then says, "Heihachi, my father, your legacy shall endure through the ages." She then looks to the moon and Heihachi's face is visible. Past this point, the scene changes to reveal this whole sequence was just Reina's dark fantasy, as she remarks that she was just kidding before walking out to face Kazuya in the Iron Fist tournament. Still, it was an amusing scene that gave some hilarious insight into the inner workings of Reina's mind, so nice character building there. Looking at Reina's character design, her fighting style, place in the story, and relation to other significant Tekken fighters, it is not difficult to see at all why this character has gotten so incredibly popular so quickly. Reina has received more character development in just one game than most Tekken fighters have in the last 28 years, so it's no wonder people want to see and learn even more about her. I don't know about you, but I for one am excited about playing as Devil Reina. Don't forget, if you want to experience this all for yourself and even play as Reina, you can use my affiliate link to get 31% off the game, or if you want to support the channel in a more personal way and speak with me directly, then consider backing my little show over on Patreon. I will be forever thankful. Cheerio!